Hello, and welcome to the Classical Guitar Heroines podcast.
Join us as we celebrate the remarkable contributions of women to this timeless art form, featuring insightful interviews, captivating stories, and performances that showcase their talent and dedication.
I'm your host, Bridget Gerard, classical guitarist and member of the Kitchener-Waterloo Guitar Orchestra.
And I am your host, Mariette Stevenson, founder, music director, and conductor of the Kitchener-Waterloo Guitar Orchestra, and professor of guitar at Wilfrid Laurier University and the University of Waterloo.
We are excited to bring you the lives and music of these classical guitar heroines, past and present, and to share with you their enduring impact on music and our world. Welcome to the Classical Guitar Heroines podcast. Our guest today is Italian guitarist Cinzia Milani.
Cinzia Milani began studying classical guitar at a very young age, and after private studies, graduated from the Conservatorio Oboito in Parma at age 18. She has studied with many teachers and developed her guitar technique with the distinguished guitar master Mauro Storti, subsequently going on to study interpretive analysis with the Argentinian composer Oscar Roberto Cruceros. When she was only 5 years old, Cinzia Milani was already beginning to win international competitions, starting with the International Competition of Milan. By age of 12, she began her concert career in Italy and went on to perform all over the world, including the United Kingdom, France, Spain, the United States, Canada, Mexico, South Africa, Indonesia, and South America. By the age of 14, Cinzia Milani had already won 16 first prizes in international and national competitions. Cinzia has an impressive discography, in addition to recording for Rai Radio 2 and Antenna 3, in which she has collaborated with composer Adelmo Prandi to catalog previously unpublished music for the guitar. She is currently working on a recording project dedicated to legendary women guitar composers from the 20th century. In addition to her career as a guitarist, she plays the violin for various orchestras in Italy, Spain, and France. From her CD, a tribute to Maria Luisa Anido, here is Cinzia Milani performing Canción del Yucatán, courtesy of Brilliant Classics.
That was our guest, Cinzia Milani, performing Canción del Yucatán by Maria Luisa Anido, courtesy of Brilliant Classics. Welcome to the Classical Guitar Heroines podcast, Cinzia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
We are so glad you could be here. You began your music studies at a very young age. What was your exposure to music as a very young child? Can you describe your attraction to music as a child that you knew that you needed to explore this art form?
Yes, I started very young, studied guitar, and I don't know why. I liked so much music and guitar, also violin. And I asked it to my parents on my, I think I was 4 on my birthday. I like so much to have a guitar. So my parents gave me a guitars, a little guitars, a Brazilian guitars, ukulele, and so I started to play a little for myself. And when I was 6, I started to study the guitar with a teacher, a real teacher, because when I was 5, my father was my first teacher.
Mm.
He wasn't a musician, but he liked so much music. He started himself to play guitar, and then for me, no?
Yeah, absolutely. That's excellent.
Yes, and for me, I think was a game, was for fun, was just I liked the music, so I started to play. Was so natural.
Oh, that's wonderful. When you were already this young, you were starting to win guitar competitions. So when you were 5, you had won the International Competition of Milan. And at age 7, you were awarded the Ambrosino and won the Trofeo Beniamino Gili in Recanati with a perfect score. So did you actually enjoy competing as a child, and was it a positive experience for you?
I started competition just for fun, for game,
Hmm.
and I was very young. It was a moment where I can play all my pieces.
Hmm.
I can play the piece I studied. Maybe I can meet new people, new child. So it was a game. But I think it was a very beautiful and important experience for my career as a musician. And maybe there is a time where you can discover that you are not more a child. So I think when I was about 8, 9, 10 years older, I started to play as an adult, not as a child.
Hmm.
So was a moment about self awareness, maybe some more responsibility
Hmm.
to the audience, to myself, to studying guitar. So it's not so easy, but it's a path now.
Yeah.
So was very important. The competition, I think, is important for all musicians to test your skills.
That's beautiful that your first experience was a game.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think
yeah.
that's absolutely beautiful.
Yes, but also because I started to play like a fun, like
Mm.
my really enjoy, my really desire.
Mm.
And that you recognize that it was a growing experience,
Yeah.
that it made you a better player. That's wonderful. You've recorded 3 CDs so far showcasing women composers, including Maria Luisa Anido, Teresa de Rogatis, and Ida Presti. Why did you choose to record their music in particular?
Yes, this is a project in partnership with Brilliant Records. So we decided to record a tribute to that great women guitarist, but not just guitarist, also concertist, also composer. Very important piece of history in the world of guitar. Also, I think the music about women composer is not so well known,
Mm.
Mhm.
and so, as a woman, I like so much to do a lot of research on that music. So I decided to record, and maybe I hope that the recording will provide listeners with an absorbing experience of the spirit
Mhm.
about the compositions.
They're beautiful recordings. We are going to hear one of those recordings now from her CD, a tribute to Maria Luisa Anido. Here is Cinzia Milani performing 2 pieces, Dimi Tiara and Canción de Cuna, courtesy of Brilliant Classics.
That was our guest, Cinzia Milani, performing De Mi Tierra and Canción de Cuna by Maria Luisa Anido, courtesy of Brilliant Classics. You are listening to the Classical Guitar Heroines podcast. So in 2024, you released your latest CD, a tribute to Maria Luisa Anido. Can you talk briefly about her career and her music?
Yes, this tribute to Maria Luisa Anido speaks for my desire to ensure that the immortal notes of the Grand Dame of the guitar, the name of Maria Luisa Anido in our world of guitar, resound through time and space. So Maria Luisa Anido was born in 1907 in the province of Buenos Aires, Argentina, and she began her musical studies at the age of 5 under her father, like me, maybe, like Ida Presti also. The father was her first teacher. So the same history. And in her house, you can prefer cultural environments of great artistic depth, like Emilio Pujol, like Saints de la Masa, Miguel Llobet, who was very important for Maria Luisa Anido. So all the people was family friends. And she studied with Domingo Prat, and also who organized for Mimita, because Maria Luisa Anido for the friends was Mimita, called Mimita. And her first concert in Buenos Aires when she was just 9 years old. And when she was 11 years old, her father bought for her a guitar by the famous Luthier Torres, which had belonged to Targa and Llobet.
Oh my.
And also Llobet would become Mimita's teacher and also forming the guitar duo with her. I think probably considered the first guitar duo of the 20th century. So Mimita became a famous concert performer and she's acclaimed throughout the world. And at the same time, a renowned teacher. And I think she represents one of the great chapters in guitar history, together with Ida Presti and Teresa de Rogatis. And she composed a lot of pieces for guitar. And through this CD, this recording, I like play and I like people will know the compositions and the works about that great composers.
Definitely.
That's amazing. To have a guitar by Torres that was played by all these other people. Oh, that's just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I played some guitars by Torres, not the guitars of Maria Luisa Anido, but anyway, the guitars by Torres has a very particular sound, a very big sound, and I think the sound talks to us about history, about another century.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
do we know whatever happened to her guitar by Torres? Do we know if Maria Luisa Anido's guitar by Torres is still around?
I don't know this curiosity. I don't know really.
Something to research.
Yes, something
to research.
Something to research.
Yes,
Yes, for sure.
there is some guitars by Torres with a strange history or a lot of history through the century, but I don't know about the guitars of Maria Luisa.
You created a show called Venivere, consisting of music composed and performed live by you in collaboration with the dance company Performing Danza. Can you talk about this intriguing project and how it came about?
Venere is an old project. I did this project a few years ago. Venere is Venus. The show speaks about the world of women. And that dance company, Performing Dance, asked to me the music. So I composed the music for this show, and it was a very interesting experience for me because it's so different. Compose music for dancer and not just for musicians. So usually I perform as a solo guitarist, so I can I can maybe decide how to play and how to perform. When you play with the dancer, they have to dance on your music, so it's difficult and very different to perform. So it was a very interesting experience for me.
I can believe that. You've collaborated throughout your career with dancers and have also performed as a dancer yourself in a second show called Sonatango. Can you talk about what inspires you as an artist in your exploration with the world of dance?
Yes, I like so much arts, every arts.
Mm,
I like also maybe sometimes I became singer during my concert, also in
mhm.
Kitchener, in Waterloo. I performed with maybe sound pieces like a song. I started this show, Sonatango, just for fun, and it was an entire show based on Argentinian music and Argentinian culture and folklore. So I had to perform, to sing, to dance.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Oh my gosh.
And I like so much tango, so it was fun, and I'm curious. I like taste some new adventures, some new skills.
That's beautiful. It's nice to be able to kind of explore different areas as an artist,
Mhm.
Yeah,
not just as a musician.
yes, yes.
So the next two pieces that we will listen to are Tarantella Diabolica and Recuerdos de España from the CD, a tribute to Teresa de Rogatis, performed by Cinzia Milani, courtesy of Brilliant Classics.
That was Tarantella Diabolica and Recuerdos de España from the CD A Tribute to Teresa de Rogatis, performed by our guest Cinzia Milani, courtesy of Brilliant Classics. You are listening to the Classical Guitar Heroines podcast. Can you talk about Teresa de Rogatis' career and what drew you to her compositions?
Yes, I think a tribute to an artist or more to a great artist is always a great responsibility. And it's also a way of breathing new life into feelings, thoughts, life and art. In this case, by focusing on the importance of a particular chapter of guitar history. Getting to know Teresa de Rogatis through her manuscripts. I had in my hands the manuscripts,
Wow.
thanks to the Italian Angelo Gilardino, as fascinating form of time travel. The period in which she lived and the places she experienced have come newly alive with the study of the notes that accompany her scores. It's very interesting. In some cases, these documents even indicated the day and also the time of composition. For example, in Baghdad, the piece Baghdad, we read Teresa de Rogatis, 22nd February, Thursday, 1968, 5:30 p.m. So
Wow.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
For me, it's the first time I found that, you know. So about Teresa de Rogatis, she born the same year as Segovia, as I think is interesting. So 1893, and her musical background and training took place in a considerably more favorable ambience than that of Segovia. And she born in Napoli, Napolitan family. She began studying the guitar also under her father. Tommaso, a guitarist and demanding teacher who saw his daughter's artistic potentials as way of redeeming the family name and the circumstances. I think with her talent, she could have gone much further, making a name for herself as a conductor as well, because she started with piano and then she studied guitar, she studied composition, so she was also a conductor, a very big and great artist, very interesting. Teresa decided first to go to Egypt in 1921. While on a concert tour in Egypt, she fell deeply in love with Paolo Fenninger. She became her wife, and this marking the end of her career as a concert performer and the beginning of her work as a teacher and as a composer. And then she decided to return to Italy in 1963, and so she took up residence in a small house near Napoli in Chiaia. That's in 1979. She continued to teach, she continued to meet her students. She was a very charismatic person, a very charismatic teacher.
Wow, that's incredible.
What I find interesting is that although Presti and De Rogatis did compose some pieces that are substantial in duration, a lot of the music that all three women, Anido, De Rogatis, and Presti, what they composed is a lot of relatively short in length. And I was wondering if you had any ideas as to why they chose to compose so many miniatures or short pieces.
Yes, it's an interesting question. I don't know if there is an explication. I think maybe for the audience, when you perform, it's better play short pieces because it's easier for the audience to understand the piece. It's not so long, I think, but I don't know. Maybe it's for fun, I don't know, maybe because you have a theme and on guitar you write about on this theme and then you decide to end the piece. I don't know.
Interesting.
But I think for the audience is easier. It's not so important to write long pieces. But for example, Teresa de Rogatis wrote sonata in 4 movements. Maybe it's a long piece.
Playing all the movements together. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Well, we will hear a short piece from her recording, a tribute to Ida Presti. Here is Cinzia Milani performing Danse rythmique by Ida Presti, courtesy of Brilliant Classics.
That was our guest, Cinzia Milani, performing Danse rythmique by Ida Presti, courtesy of Brilliant Classics. You are listening to the Classical Guitar Heroines podcast. Cinzia, you are a very busy concert guitarist. You have also played violin for various orchestras in Europe. How do you make time for so many projects?
So I'm curious. I like to make very different projects. I like a challenge. I had a point of my life where I decided to be a violinist or a guitarist, because when you decide to make a career as a concertist, it's very difficult to have a career in both instruments, because are both very very difficult instruments, violin and guitar. So I decided to become a guitar performer.
Right.
But also, I like so much a lot of projects. So maybe sometimes I think always that I'd like to have a day with, I don't know, 48 hours or 50 hours.
Wouldn't we all?
I don't know.
I know.
It will be better for me. It's not enough the time for me.
Agreed. Agreed. I understand.
I'm very
completely.
active.
So, as we wind down our discussion today, do you have any final thoughts on women and guitar?
I think it will be fantastic that we don't think about male or female, but just on guitarist or musician. And so I recorded a lot of pieces about women guitarists, and on my concerts I perform always pieces and I speak about women composer, women concertists. But I think maybe the most change about our world, maybe it will take place maybe when the male guitarists perform pieces by women composers, because at the time now I don't find in the program concert pieces by women composer when when the concert is a male. So
Yeah.
I think
It's a problem.
we need more time,
Yeah, absolutely.
or maybe there aren't recording by male guitarists with compositions by female composer. It's so difficult. I think it's a problem about culture.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And speaking of music, where can our audience discover more of your music?
Yes, you can find my music on the platforms. So I don't know, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and maybe also I'll perform again in Canada
Lovely.
for
Yes.
the Kitchen Chamber Music Society,
wonderful.
and also in Toronto for the Guitar Society of Toronto on March 2027. So
We look forward to that.
1 year and a half.
We'll put it in the calendar.
Yeah.
And many other places too that you will be performing, no doubt.
Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Cinzia, for being our guest today.
Oh, thank you so much to you.
Our pleasure.
It was a pleasure for me. Thank
It
you.
was a pleasure for us. So here is one last performance by our guest, Cinzia Milani, playing Ida Presti's Etude No. 1 and Etude No. 2 from a tribute to Ida Presti, courtesy of Brilliant Classics. That was Cinzia Milani playing Ida Presti's Etude No. 1 and 2 from a tribute to Ida Presti, courtesy of Brilliant Classics.
We would like to thank the wonderful Cinzia Milani for speaking to us today. And a special thanks to Brilliant Classics for allowing us to use audio from Cinzia's recordings featured on this episode. Follow the Classical Guitar Heroines podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. If you have enjoyed what you've heard, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our Substack newsletter for updates. If you love our podcast and want to support us, consider visiting our Ko-fi account. You can find the link on our Facebook and Instagram pages. Every contribution, no matter the amount, helps us stay independent and keep the podcast accessible to everyone. And remember, if you are a woman that plays classical guitar, you too are a classical guitar heroine. Thank you for joining us on the Classical Guitar Heroine podcast.